Ooh, Tiffany Tahoe, the feds got your right-hand man. Yes, Keith Freeman, Tiffany Tahoe, the mayor of Dolton and supervisor of Thornton Township's partner in crime, was indicted by the feds. The announcement just came out.
We've got some breaking news this hour. A top aide to a South suburban politician has been indicted for bankruptcy fraud. Keith Freeman serves as the village administrator in Dolton and advisor in Thornton Township. He works directly for Tiffany Henyard, who is both the mayor of Dolton and Thornton's supervisor. Henyard's spending has come under scrutiny after a series of WGN Investigates reports highlighting first-class travel, meals, and public money funneled to her namesake charity. Federal prosecutors accuse Freeman of lying about his income from both of his government positions in his personal bankruptcy filing.
Here it is, guys, fresh off the press. The announcement released from the U.S. Attorney's Office, Northern District of Illinois. Senior Administrator for Dolton, Illinois and Thornton Township, Illinois, charged in federal court with bankruptcy fraud. It says a senior administrator for both the village of Dolton, Illinois and Thornton Township, Illinois has been charged in federal court with engaging in a bankruptcy fraud scheme involving the making of false statements in his bankruptcy petition to conceal from creditors his assets and sources of income. An indictment returned Monday in U.S. District Court in Chicago charges Keith Douglas Freeman, 45, of Orland Park, Illinois, with one count of bankruptcy fraud. The charge is punishable by a maximum sentence of 5 years in federal prison. Arraignment has not yet been scheduled. The indictment was announced by Morris Pasquale, acting United States Attorney for the Northern District of Illinois, Robert W. West Wheeler, Jr., Special Agent in charge of the Chicago Field Office of the FBI, Justin Campbell, Special Agent in charge of the IRS Criminal Investigation Chicago Field Office, and Ruth M. Mendoza, Inspector in charge of the Chicago Division of the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. Yeah, so all these different agencies came together. They've been investigating Keith Freeman for this bankruptcy fraud. They went on to say valuable assistance was provided by the U.S. Trustee Program. The government is represented by Assistant U.S. Attorney Jason A. Julian and Special Assistant U.S. Attorney Brian P. Nettles. The officials noted that Freeman was indicted as part of an ongoing federal investigation. According to the indictment, Freeman on January 3, 2024, filed a Chapter 7 bankruptcy petition in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court in Chicago. The petition included a schedules and statement of financial affairs, a document in which a debtor is required to identify, among other things, all of his assets and sources of income, as well as any claims against him. The indictment alleges that Freeman made several entirely false statements and omissions in the document, including knowingly underreporting income he derived from the employment as well as the village administrator for Dolton and the municipality manager for Thornton Township, as well as fees he received from his private consulting business. Freeman also allegedly concealed that the village of Robbins, Illinois, had filed a claim against him related to approximately $90,396 that Freeman received in excess of his authorized salary while he was the village administrator for Robbins, a position he held from 2017 to 2021. So let's get this straight. They're saying that before Keith Freeman started working with Tiffany Tahoe, he used to work over in Robbins and he was skimming money off their budget too. The same things he's been accused of doing in Dolton, Illinois and Thornton. They went on to say Freeman also furnished a Chapter 7 trustee with a purported copy of his 2022 individual income tax return, which represented that Freeman's total income from employment was $45,186. The indictment states that Freeman knew he had not filed an income tax return and that his actual income, which included a $100,000 salary from the Dolton position alone, substantially exceeded that amount. So he filed bankruptcy, wrote on there that his income from 2022 was about $45,000. Now he's got two positions with Tiffany Tahoe. He's on the payroll in Dolton and Thornton Township, working in her administration at both. So he's up there saying he made $45,000 in 2022 when his position at Dolton paid him $100,000 alone. It was further part of the scheme that on January 30th, 2024, while testifying under oath at a meeting of creditors, Freeman falsely represented that he was not an employee of Dolton and that he did not receive payment from Dolton, the indictment states. The following month, Freeman allegedly caused the pay from Dolton to be directly deposited into a recently opened bank account that he had not disclosed to the creditors or the Chapter 7 trustee. So they had to add this too. The public is reminded that an indictment is not evidence of guilt. The defendant is presumed innocent and entitled to a fair trial at which the government has the burden of proving guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. If convicted, the court must impose a reasonable sentence under federal statutes and the advisory U.S. sentencing guidelines. Obviously, the feds are watching Tiffany Tahoe and they are starting to close in. They got the closest person to her, and this is only the beginning.
As WGN Investigates was first to report today, a top aide to Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard has been indicted for bankruptcy fraud. It comes amid ongoing questions about Henyard's spending and leadership.
And legal experts say it could be the first sign that the feds are trying to get people to share what they know about potential government corruption in the South suburbs.
Let's be smarter than that. This is not just the price is right.
Despite sitting next to Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard at countless meetings, the feds allege Keith Freeman not only failed to report his income from the village, he actively lied about it. Freeman is Henyard's top aide in both Dolton and Thornton Township. As part of a personal bankruptcy case, he was required to report his earnings. But this indictment on one count of bankruptcy fraud says Freeman falsely stated he only worked for the township and made just over $99,000 last year. Prosecutors say he tried to hide his Dolton earnings via a pass-through company, which brought his income to $195,000 last year. They further allege the village of Robbins has a claim against Freeman for more than $90,000 he took without authorization from a previous post he held as village administrator there.
This is long coming. If a person can lie on their own financials, what do you think they're doing for the village? Nobody is untouchable. That's what I want to say. Nobody is untouchable. So if this is just the first domino to all of them falling, let it happen.
Dude, Vic Bradley, how you feeling?
Freeman is a key player in our reporting on Tiffany Henyard because of how many roles he plays for her. In addition to the Dolton and Township jobs, Freeman also, for a time, was the registered agent of the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation.
But there's no foundation in the state of Illinois moving like we moving and shaking and grooving like we doing. Right?
That's right.
While Henyard's namesake charity claims to help cancer patients, WGN Investigates has reported it received most of its early money from taxpayers and has failed to file required paperwork showing how it spends its money.
How come you don't respond to my emails?
There you go. There you go. Huh? There you go. That's all you're getting from me. That's all you're getting from me today.
How come the charity hasn't filed its financial disclosures about how money was spent?
Listen, Keith Freeman, Tiffany Tahoe's right-hand man, he's going to be forced to cooperate. Just watch. You better believe it. There's a reason why he's first.
How would I know that? That's a good question, though.
For months, WGN Investigates has reported on questionable conduct on Henyard's watch, including unexplained travel, including first-class airfare and fine dining on the taxpayer's dime. Credit card statements show Freeman was on many of the trips, including one to Las Vegas, where another Henyard aide now claims a Dolton trustee sexually assaulted her. Others accuse Henyard of using Freeman and other government employees to retaliate against her opponents. Court watchers say the feds could use the bankruptcy charge against Freeman to get him to cooperate in other investigations.
That's exactly what they're doing.
When the feds are looking at a larger scheme or relationship, oftentimes what they have to do is go for people who are below or the lower part of the food chain, get them for something, charge them with something, because that's the leverage they need to be able to sit down with that person and say, now, if you help us, life might be good for you. If you don't help us, you're in a lot of trouble. Now, what do you want to do?
So I said one down, about 25 more to go.
No comment this afternoon from Keith Freeman. His boss, Tiffany Henyard, said through a spokesperson that she's aware of the indictment but won't comment due to the ongoing investigation. So we don't know whether taxpayers will continue paying Freeman's 2 salaries despite today's bankruptcy fraud charge.
Tiffany Tahoe, I told you a long time ago the feds watching. And there's so many criminals around this woman that she used to retaliate against citizens, businesses, political opponents. All of these people need to go down. When I tell you this is going to be a blockbuster case, hey, you'll see she is not getting away with any of this. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Let me know what you think about this. Keith Freeman is the first person a part of Tiffany Tahoe's administration to be officially charged with something. Who do you believe is next? Special thank you to William A. I appreciate you, William, for all of your support, as well as Scott M., Dark Power, Marlon, and Elaine. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.